Welcome back. It has been a few months. I've been just really busy with all kinds of different work, but today I'm bringing you a different kind of video. This one is much different to all my clones that generally I do in the past, such as the Netflix or the Instagram, Todoist, all the huge ones. I thought I'd bring you something a little different where we can focus on maybe a smaller website, and this one's going to be a portfolio specifically for someone called Bill Buttlicker. So we're going to be building Bill's portfolio. We are going to be putting it onto some shared hosting, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be using Hostinger. That'll be on the screen now. You can check out my link, hostinger.com/Carl. You will get 91% off your shared plan, so do definitely check that out.
You naughty. You teasing me, you naughty.
A fantastic company, over 29 million users. They've been kind enough to sponsor this video, and I'll show you how to actually host a portfolio. So if you are looking to host a portfolio, whether you're a web developer, UX designer, photographer, whatever it may be, you just want to get your stuff out there, stay tuned. I'll show you how to build this. It's going to be a responsive portfolio, 4 pages. You're going to have home, about, the portfolio, and contact. It's going to have some nice fancy CSS animations in there. Do remember, if you do want to host this, use the coupon code Carl on hostinger.com. That will get you 91% off.
Buttlicker, our prices have never been lower. Okay, stop it.
There's tons of unique stuff about hosting your portfolio. Not only will it potentially get you some work, it just gets you out there, so it's definitely good to have. I'm creating mine at the minute. Priorities, of course. Bill Buttlicker needed a portfolio, so I had to get it out there. But yeah, hostinger.com/Carl, over 29 million users. That's 15,000 signups every day. One client every 5 seconds, multilingual support. They've got servers in all different locations, and depending on what your primary language is, they'll more than likely have someone on support who can help you. They even have WordPress installations too, so don't count out WordPress. WordPress still makes money, especially for freelance now. I'm going to be getting into that in some future videos, how you can make a ton of money with WordPress, simply because it's so easy to set up and just get a simple client website out there. Also, if you do complete this portfolio or your own portfolio and sign up to hostinger.com/Carl, there's a chance you can win a Keychron keyboard.
Oh.
Brand new, used it once. I'll send it to whomever wins. I will do maybe a Twitter or a YouTube video on the winner, depending on how things go. But all you got to do, sign up to the hostinger.com/Carl, tweet me or email me if you're not on Twitter, just showing me you've signed up, and I'll post it to you. It doesn't matter where you're from, I'll post it. So that being said, let me show you how to sign up to Hostinger, and I will be getting a domain. We need billbuttlicker.com. You can even visit the portfolio, that should be up now. I'll show you how to set up your shared hosting, and yeah, we'll build a complete portfolio. So stick around, hopefully you enjoy this one, and it's a little different. Let me know what you think. So let's take a look at Bill Buttlicker's portfolio. And by the way, this is the keyboard that you can win. It's a Keychron K3. It's fairly new. I think it came out in November. So if you do want to win this keyboard, sign up to hostinger.com/Carl. I'm actually going to choose the winner based on their portfolio. So this is the keyboard. I haven't used it, a little dusty. I think I used it once in the Bitcoin mining rig video, but apart from that, I haven't actually used it. So works on Mac and Windows. All you got to do is tweet me your portfolio link or send it to me through email, and then I'll pick a winner. Whoever has the best portfolio, I'll do a video on all the portfolios that get submitted, and then basically what will happen is I'll pick a winner, and then I'll send you this keyboard. And as I did mention a few minutes ago, I'll send it anywhere in the world. Best of luck and enjoy the video. So this is the portfolio that we're going to be building. This is one I put together. I don't have my own portfolio, but I might use this. Feel free to use it if you wish. Hopefully by now you've signed up, and well, you don't have to do it now. Maybe do it at the end. Decide if you want to have a portfolio, whether you want to show off some of your work. It may be good for you if you are looking to get a job, so do definitely consider. The link is in the description below. Make sure to use the coupon code Carl and you'll get a massive reduction. I think it's around 90%, but I'm sure you just heard that in the start of the video. But I'm doing these two separate videos. So I've got the other one and then there's this one, which will get merged together. But yeah, definitely use the coupon code to save yourself some money on the annual subscription. Yeah, this is pretty much it. I've done massive, clones on this channel. I've never really done a simple portfolio. So I thought I'd just demonstrate HTML and CSS and the smallest amount of JavaScript. So this is the portfolio. You have some nice animations when you go over certain links. Even these social media icons, and these are just SVGs, so I'll show you how to work with them. Don't worry too much when working with SVGs. No one types them out. You basically just copy and paste them from a website online. It's exactly what I did with these ones. So if you find some nice SVGs on someone's website, just inspect them, like here, and there you go. You can do a good steal, and that's it. They're yours now. So we have the landing page of Justin Bieber. Nice little introduction. If you do use this portfolio and start sending it off to recruiters, remember to not keep this stuff on here because this is Bill Buttlicker's portfolio. But you can see we've got some nice hover states even on here, 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 here. And we can switch, and I'm just going to zoom out a bit because I had to zoom in because I'm using a 2K monitor, but you can see we have very quick transition between pages. That's the beauty of just HTML and CSS. And here, if you want, put something about yourself, maybe change this to a picture of you. What else could you put on your about page? Not too much. Maybe your CV link, something like that. And then you have your portfolio. So here you could put your websites, photos if you're a photographer. If you're an artist, illustrator, designer, you can put all your stuff on here. It's very easy, and you've got these nice moving transitions or animations. And then lastly, you have the contact form. And yeah, that's pretty much it. A nice simple portfolio. It's not going to be too hard to build. We're going to be using some stuff from Google Fonts, some animations, transitions. We're going to make it responsive too, so I'll show you this. If you want to view, by the way, I don't know who's going to be watching this video, whether it's going to be people with some experience of web development, but in general, if you want to view how your website looks on a mobile device, just right click, inspect. This will come up here. And then click on this mobile phone and tablet icon, and it says toggle device toolbar. What I tend to do as well is Command-Shift-C, and then you can target an element almost instantly, which is good. And there's also a shortcut for pulling this up. So toggle device toolbar, Command-Shift-M, that's not the one. Command-Shift-M, maybe not. Command-Shift-I thought it was. Nope, that's open up Outlook. And I'm trying to send someone Bill Buttlicker's portfolio. That will not go down well. Yeah, I can't remember. I always use Command-Shift-C because I can immediately just target. I thought it used to be Command-Shift-N. I'm not too sure. Anyhow, yeah, click it and you'll get to something like this. So then you can view different devices, which is nice. And you can see it's responsive. Make sure here, this is like the zoom mode, where you can actually change the zoom. Put it to 100% so it's the same as a mobile. And just by the way, if you're using DevTools, you can always switch this to the right side here. So these three little dots, just whip that to the right side and you can view this better. Then you've got About, and you can scroll, you can see it works nicely. Portfolio, works nicely. Contact, works nicely. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Works on all devices, fairly simple stuff. There's an iPad. Make sure it goes 100%. Pretty simple. And so yeah, this is what we're going to be building. So we're not going to be needing anything too fancy here, right? So just create a folder. Like here, I've called this one Portfolio Final because it's already finished. And you can get this on my GitHub if you want to be lazy and just upload it straight to your shared hosting over at Hostinger. So Hostinger, let's have a look. Remember to go through here. You can choose a plan, get rid of all my pop-ups. Like I showed in the beginning, choose a plan, use the coupon code Carl, and yeah, that should be decent. I'll run you through this one more time. I'll timestamp it actually where you can find this out, but definitely use the coupon code Carl because you'll save like 90%. And it's nice, it's free. They've got, you know, a bunch of different servers in different locations, so you're always going to have like a fast website. You get all the great stuff, like even if you wanted to run a WordPress site on here. And you know what, if you don't like it, it's a 30-day money back guarantee, but they've got a bunch of good stuff. 99% uptime, all the great stuff. So definitely check them out. And you can get your domain name here too. So it just makes it easy to get your domain name, your hosting, and just put it online, and that's it. You should be good, really. And the support's fantastic as well. So that's the portfolio. To begin, create a folder, call it portfolio. Let's pull one up here. I've just got an empty folder, which is called portfolio, as you can see here. And what you want to do, create a new file, call this index.html. And we'll start out with the basics, which is just type in HTML. So we'll get these tags, and I'll just make that a bit bigger, pull that across. And I'll just put portfolio in here. So you get to this part, but instead what you can actually do, I'll be blurring this, I don't want you to be finding my details. Let's see, portfolio. So when you get into the folder like here, just literally drag this in, and that's it. You can see all the changes you make. Right. Let me get rid of this toolbar. There we go, that's much easier to see. So once you've got the HTML, we'll start out with the basics, which is a head. And if you're not familiar with web dev, generally what you have in here is called a meta tags. And one of the meta tags is the character set. And the character set we're going to be using is UTF-8. And I wouldn't worry about that too much. You can Google it if you like. It's just basically the encoding of the characters that can be used on this page. And next, what's very important to make sure that your website works responsively is the viewport tag. Now the viewport tag is very important, and it has another key value attribute. The key being content, the value is going to be width equal device width, comma, initial scale equals 1, and then shrink, we can put shrink to fit equals no. And do I remember that each time? And do I have this in memory? Can I type this without, like if someone gave me a test on typing this, I would fail it each time. I had to have it on my notes here because basically I just copy and paste this all the time. The next one that again I probably do copy and paste all the time is the style sheet. And then text, CSS, and this just refers to a file that we have inside our folders. And this is where we're going to put all our nice colors, all those animations, transitions, text, styling. So we want to go ahead and create app.css. And now this is linked. Hit save on that. And the most important, you see up here, it says index.html. Well, let's change that. We'll call this Bill Buttlicker's portfolio. And there we go. And you can always inspect, and if your style sheet didn't come through, you'll get a red console error. It will say, actually I'll jump to console. Default levels, let's have a look. I think I've turned them off. I can't remember the boss. I think I've turned them off, but it should basically, I've no idea why it's not showing. It should be giving me a network. There we go. So we're checking a network. You can see it's failed to load this file. If we put this back, clear out the network tab, it's finished. The status is finished, which means it's loaded and there's nothing in there. So we won't jump into the styles just yet. The next thing I want to look at is once we've got like the HTML and the heading there, you have something called a body, and this is basically where you do all your HTML. And I always start this out with a div called wrapper, and that just like keeps everything in the box. That's basically it. Doesn't do much more than that. It's not more important than that. It's just sat there and it keeps everything in a nice box that I can control if need be. And then we can use another tag called nav. And what does that do? It's a navigation. So do you remember that bit on the left side where we had, like, let's keep this, and I think if we put portfolio final, we're going to be building this bit here now. So what do we do to get that? Well, that right there is a H1. Yep, and then we have a UL, which is sat inside a nav. So let's just build that. So the H1 will be Bill Buttlicker. Saying that all the time is strange, but let's get a list item. So you have an unordered list and a list item. And in here you have links. And this link we're going to do #home. And what we're going to do is we're not going to have separate pages. We're just going to encapsulate everything within here. And then we're essentially just going to go ahead and hide and show different divs as to what page the user thinks they're on. So we don't want, let's have a look actually. Let's put in here home. So you see, this is where we're at the minute. Let's make that a bit bigger. And you see I click this, it goes to home. Now you can keep that if you want, but I like to do on-click return false. Command, by the way, if you're on the Mac and you do command, I think it's parentheses or brackets, you can just tab through the pages really quickly. But yeah, you see now you don't get the href because you got the on-click false, it doesn't add it, and I much prefer that. So the first one, if you remember, we have like an orange or yellowish color here. And that's the first page someone's going to land on, so we want to change that. And to change that, we can just give it a class of active, which means we can target that particular class. And then the next one after that, let's just say it's going to be about. And we can get rid of that active class because it's not going to, the active class is going to be there so we can target the active link the user clicks on. Like you see, it goes to about, portfolio, contact, home. That's pretty much it. That's the reason for the active tag. There's nothing special involved. And then we'll go to portfolio. And you can just copy and paste, literally just copy and paste these. Save yourself the time and just copy and paste them. Like that. And that's it, you have a menu. Great, right? So the next thing is we have a copyright, which is this. So we'll put this below the unordered list and we can basically say, and copy 2021 Bill Buttlicker. So no one wants to be stealing Buttlicker's work. And then I'll just maybe provide a link to my own YouTube channel simply because I need some more subscribers. We'll give it a class of author because we want to give it an italic style. So you see like here, and I want to make it a bit smaller, so I'll just give it a class of author. Now, you may be asking, how do you know what classes to give this? You basically don't. Make them up as you go along. You can name them whatever you like. I think author just makes sense. I created this. I'm just going to call myself the author. I haven't written a book or anything like that, but I'm the author of this. So that's pretty much it. That's the standard layout. This is always going to be displayed. After that, the main part, no pun intended, will be some tags called main. And that's where we're going to do all our work. We're going to have different content parts, so we can say like div. And again, it's probably just best to visualize this. So you see like in here, we've got different sections. Why am I doing div there? So we can do section, and we can call this one home. The next one I'll call about. The next one I'll call portfolio. and the next one I'll call contact. And that's just going to be like a box where it stores all the information in for each particular section. When you click on about, we hide everything else and just show about. Like there's nothing too special involved. That's pretty much what it's going to be. We'll work through each one of these. We'll start with the home. And once we've got the home content in there, then at that point I like to style it. So what have we got on the home? We have like an avatar, okay? So we can look in here, avatar, pretty good. Okay, so we'll do div the avatar. And this is a bit of a weird dynamic. I don't know if you like this where I can show you, okay, this is what's on the page. Let's go ahead and build it. I'm not going to show you the HTML always, but I think it's important that I can demonstrate what it should look like. So we have an image. Once we have an image, we should create another div called content. And this is where our content is going to be. We'll have a h2 who is Justice Beaver. Oops. And then I'll just paste in a quote from The Office. Right, so that's pretty much near enough what lives in here apart from the SVGs. Now the SVGs we are going to have to steal from somewhere, and where do the images come from? Well, the link's on the screen now. It's also in the description for the GitHub where you can grab these images. Or just put your own images in there, either works. I don't mind, honestly, you can use either. But yeah, if not, they're on GitHub, or you can get them, put your own images in from Google. Right, so I just cut the video and I went to the GitHub, again in the description, and I've got the images. So I've saved this folder, and there's this folder right here called images. So if we click inside, you'll see there's a bunch of images in here. So let's go ahead and create a folder in our folder called images. Go into that folder, drag everything, or at least copy and paste. Bam, done. That's all you had to do. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the images. The SVGs, now I don't want to dwell on them too much. I'm just going to copy and paste them again from the GitHub. You can get your own SVGs. I think I stole these somewhere online. I can't remember the website. But yeah, have a look. And I did forget, it's not 90% you get off of the hosting company, it's 91%. So if you go to hostinger.com/Carl, get your 91% off. Let's have a look. Let's go /Carl. Bam, there you go. 90%. 90%, 91%. But yeah, tons of great stuff to say about these. Again, they are a sponsor of the video. You know, I don't really do sponsored videos unless I, use at least use the company. And I use these for a freelance project I did recently for a small e-commerce store actually, and it works really, really well. What you want to do is follow the instructions at the start of the video. It's timestamped, and like I said, they've got a great service. It's a massive website, and you can trust them. They've got, I think they've got like at least, how many users now? Last time I checked, it was somewhere in the 20 or 30 millions. I think it's 29 million or something like that. They have a nice website too, I have to say. They do have a nice website, and they do have like multilingual support. So if you're in Italy, Spain, France, Germany, or even like India, and you don't speak the English language that well, you're in good hands. And like I said, if you're interested in WordPress too, don't count out WordPress. It's good for doing freelance projects. It's quick, it can make you some good money. Yeah, test it out. I think what we're going to crack on next with is the SVGs for this part, and we'll just get them in now, copy and paste them across. But yeah, like I said, 29 million users use this, so go ahead, use the coupon code Carl when you are at the checkout, or just use this link, go through, make sure you use this, and like I said at the start of the video, don't miss out, because there's a Keychron keyboard to be won. I don't know where it is, somewhere in my office. You'd have seen it at the start of the video. if you use this, tweet me a screenshot of your sign up or send it to me via email, and I will put you in the draw for the keyboard, and I'll choose someone. I think I'll just do one of those like lottery draws. You click it, I'll put everyone's name in and just see who comes out. And yeah, you'll get the keychron. It works on Mac and Windows. And Windows 11 is just around the corner, so that should be nice. So yeah, check these out. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to be doing, SVGs. Let's crack on SVGs. Go back to ours. So we're inside content. Inside content, again, let's just be lazy. We'll have a list item, list item, list item. And to do that on the Mac, it's actually Option Shift down on the keyboard. Probably somewhat similar on Windows. So we're just going to create some links in here. And these links are just basically going to go to the SVG that well, not the SVG, but it's going to encapsulate the SVG, and it's going to go to a link, our social profile. So twitter.com/CarlHadwin. Follow me for stupid memes and probably whinging about the tech industry, stuff like that. What you want as well is there's rel no referrer, if I can spell that, yeah. You want to add this. Basically, it's there's some security implementations when you don't add this as well, but it also helps with some SEO. So we're going to create our links like this, and again, just feel free to Google this. It's not something that's super important. And what we're going to do, we're just going to drop in an SVG. Bam. To save time, I'm just going to copy this, copy this, copy this, and there we go. We should have 4. Let me just pull this across. There we go, 4. I probably should have something to auto indent this, but I don't. But yeah, that's 4. But they all go to the same place, and we can check that out. Get rid of that one. We've got huge SVGs that are all for Facebook, which is a terrible website. What's the next link? What I want to promote? I'll promote my Twitter, maybe. Yeah, I'll just do the same ones. We'll leave Twitter there, and I'll just put YouTube in here. Right, so again, don't get held up on these SVGs. Like, you can go steal them from my GitHub. I've stolen them from somewhere, which I honestly can't remember. So let me steal them from myself. So let me find them. So the next one would be this one. And that one is Twitter. God, that's a big bird. And the one after that, and if you don't fully understand SVGs, just again, quickly Google that. But essentially, it's like, I think it's the terminology I might not get right, but it's like a vectorized image that you can scale accordingly, and it's done on paths. So it's not going to get to a point where if you scale it up to like 2000 pixels, it's going to get blurry. It doesn't work that way, which is nice. Whereas if you had a PNG, if you had a regular JPEG and you scaled it from 500 pixels to 2000, you'll start seeing it getting a bit blurry. And that's the beauty of SVGs. So you can accommodate all devices, everything looks nice, especially when you're doing like mobile. So let's have a look. Right, so we've got Instagram, Dribble, Twitter, Facebook. Right, so that's kind of the main section done, right? So I think we are at a point where we need to style this because it's getting a bit out of control. So the first thing we're going to do, and feel free to go ahead and find a nice font. You can find one in here. The one I'm going to use is one called Poppins. Where the hell are you, Mary? There we go. We're going to use this one. So basically what you do, you click which ones you want. I want some light, regular, medium, semi-bold, blah, 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 blah. And then what it'll give you, if you click select this style, gives you a link like this. Now just copy this, but to save you the trouble, there you go. I'm taking the italics, the font weight of 400, 700, 900, 400, blah, blah, blah. Again, don't worry too much about this. I just grabbed it from here when I clicked a bunch of these. You can select them, it'll keep adding them. Feel free to choose which ones you want. And then if I hit save, the next bit, which might be a bit confusing for people, but I mean, what's the best way to explain this? All browsers aren't the same. And the issues with all browsers not being the same is you run into like different spaces and different fonts, and how what you perceive to be what you've created on Google Chrome will not look the same in Firefox. And it's a pain. It's such a pain. Like, why can't browsers all just work the same? Please. Please. So what you got to do, you got to use a CSS reset. Now a CSS reset, bam. One I've been using for years. It basically resets everything so all the browsers look the same from a starting point. Now some browsers may have default margins of 12, some may have like 15, 20. I cannot be bothered with dealing with all the discrepancies between the browsers. So I get this reset. Now, grab this from the GitHub or just Google CSS reset. Literally, it's the first link. I've used it for like 10 years. And then once I paste that in, I do this in all my apps. I do like app globals. What am I going to start out with first? I always start with the body. The body is going to target this. It's going to say, look, this is the body. Everything inside this, I want to be X. And the first thing I want is that nice font. So I'm going to say Poppins. And then there's a backup font, sans serif. And the color, it will be white, but right now, well, we need to style the nav or we won't see anything. And then I want to say font smooth always, so you can get like nice looking fonts. And just to support Firefox and other browsers, again, please, can browsers just be the same? Anyways, and I'm going to give a line height for the paragraphs, or the p tags of 32. Generally, I want my links to be white because the majority of them, I think the majority are going to be in the nav. So yeah, we'll do white. Text decoration none, and that basically means when you hover, you don't get like an underline. I want to control that myself. And do you know, remember when we spoke about this being active? Well, we can target that now. We can say a.active, and that's going to target this a.active. And that's how you target. Font weight says 700. And I give it a color of F9DA85, which is that nice yellow, I think. Yep, there it is. And you know how we have the wrapper, which is here, not a wrapper, but a wrapper around what's going on. And by the way, when you do like div.wrapper, you can target the element, the semantic element you want. In this case, I know I'm just going to have one wrapper, so I'm just going to say display flex. And I think that's it. We might not be able to see too much because it'll go white, but there you go. You can kind of see it somewhat coming together. I think what we kind of want to do now is we'll grab this comment here so we can keep our style sheet nice and just say nav. And now we have a nav. Let's just make the first thing, let's say black. Because the reason I want it black now, because we can see the text now, right? There we are. I mean, it's not as good, but we'll get there. So we'll say display flex, a height of 100%, the flex direction to be column. Boom, we messed it up. Cool. And then we'll do justify content center. And the reason, we'll see this soon actually, let me comment this out. Let's do a width of 100, max width of 3 or 5 pixels, padding 16 and 32. I like to go up in increments of like 4, 8, 12, 16, blah, 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 and so on. You see, right now, it's kind of locked in this part here. So you see the wrapper, you have the bit on the left, which is the nav and the main. Now, we need this one to be 100%, but we also don't want stuff to be like next to each other. So we can do the, uncomment this, flex direction column, boom, puts it like that. Justify content, don't do naff all. But in reality, we'll get to that part. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in regards to this nav. So like on our nav here, this one's nicely positioned. And to get that, did we do the wrapper? We didn't. So what I like to do with CSS generally is I like to come into Chrome and start messing about. And then I basically just copy and paste. So you see like here, I'm saying, look, min height on wrapper, 100. And then I just paste it in here. Works nice and easy. Refresh, boom, done. The next thing, we want the Bill Buttlicker font to look good, the H1. So we're going to turn that to white. I think we did set the body to Poppins. Let's see. Does it look like Poppins? It does. Okay, so we don't need to actually do that, but we'll say font size 28. Font weight, we'll give it 900. Text transform, uppercase, margin bottom of 32. Now 32 goes into 4, I believe. Yep, 8 times. Line height 1.2, and we'll give it a transition, and we'll say transition the color. I didn't freeze, but transition the color of 0.4 of a second and ease. Now that doesn't do anything, and the reason it won't do anything just yet is because you need an on hover. So we can say when you hover, that's when you activate the transition. Bam, look at that. Now you get rid of this, you don't get anything. Oh, apart from my Twitter account. You don't get anything. So that's why you need the on hover. So when this on hovers, transition kicks in and transitions to this. Color, color. There we are. So what we probably do have to sort is the links here, because they're not that nice. We want it to look like this. So we're gonna have to make it smaller. Is this, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna have to make these links a bit smaller. So let's do that now. Right. So let's make these, actually these look all right. It's the margin that needs to be fixed. So let's do that. So we've got the hover. Firstly, let's have a look what we've got in there. So we have the P tag. So let's just go ahead and target that to begin. And we'll give that a nice color of like some off gray. Font style italic. Font size 14, and let's see what that did. So we're targeting this here. You see, it goes nice and smaller, perfect. The author, which is me here, let's target that next. So we'll do nav, we could do the author, but I just want to be clear and say it's a link. So I'll do a.author. Font style italic. We'll take this color, but what you can actually do, and I'll show you this in a second, you can put like C4, font size 12. You have like this RGBA, and RGBA essentially allows you to mess around with the opacity. And if you hover here, you can see this bit here, which is the opacity. You see it goes up and down. And that's how you just mess around with the opacity. Then take that color and just put it there. That's all I pretty much have done. Nav UL, we'll do margin bottom of 48. And the reason we did 48 is because we want these links, these links here to push down this stuff. Like right now there's no separation. Refresh, we have that because we use this. And then do nav. Margin bottom 16, and that basically just says give me some space between these. Boom, it's starting to look good, right? The nav's looking decent. Nav UL, font size 14, and we'll just say position relative. Why do we need relative? Because they're a pain. We can't get away from them. But unfortunately, is this one? Yeah, there we go. I was zoomed in. But why we need relative? Why do we need relative? Because you see we've got this like nice on hover. Well, we've got to kind of play around with that. And the way to do that is, again, this is another thing I stole online. I'm going to say active. Yeah, I'm going to target the active one, which is the first one. I'm going to give that a background color of that nice orange we have. So you see, pretty much just blanks it out. But what we want to do now, we'll take that and we'll say before. And that allows us, it's like pseudo elements. You have before, you have after. And we'll say the content is empty, like so. And position absolute. So now we have the relative position. The absolute position can't go outside of the relative position. Doesn't do much yet, but if we say width 0, give it height of 1 pixel, bottom -3. This is going to be the nice line. So we're going to turn this orange block or yellow block. Maybe I'm going blind. It matches Dwight's shirt, but we're going to turn it into a line. And it's not happening yet. We'll say background color, pretty much white. Visibility hidden. And let's have a look. What we need next is a transition. Actually, we'll set all for the transition, 0.3 seconds, ease in, out. Right, so this is where we can get that line to start behaving itself. Hover before, visibility visible, and we'll say the line is 100. What in God's name, why is it not changing? Let's see. So, oh, I put it on the active tag. I want it before. So we've got a pseudo element. There we go. We got the line. The reason it was showing on this one, so if I just put that back, I mean, it's meant to show on that one, right? But I wanted it to be orange and not white, so that's why I did that. So if we put that back in there, it should work fine. Winner, winner. Perfect. So that's pretty much it for that side, or at least for the menu. It's near enough identical. That's what we got. Did we push it down even more? We did 48, didn't we? 48 was what I was aiming for. I wonder if there's anything on the P tag. Nope, that's good, that's good, that's good. Oh, the last element here is it's probably got a margin on. Yes, it has. Okay, so let's just take that margin off the last one. So we'll take this. And we'll say the last element in that list, which is contact. There's no point in having a margin bottom because I'm controlling the margin by the unordered list. So we'll say last of type, margin bottom 0. And there we go. Get rid of this. It's identical. The nav is now identical. Cool. So we're doing good. We're doing good. Next, we need to do the content piece, the main content piece. So let's look at that next. So, right, let's make our portfolio look something like this, or at least identical. So there's a few things we want to do. We're going to have these sections, right? Each one is pretty similar. So ideally, we just want to create a target element, main section, that keeps them all the same. So it looks somewhat similar. So that's what we're going to try to achieve. So again, just to make things nice, we'll just say, hey, look, this is where main starts. Main will target with display flex, and we'll keep everything so it's like stacked in columns. We'll say width 100. We'll go to this one. You see now it's going to 100%, right? And then we'll say flex 1. And I kind of do want to target everything else inside for each section. So the easiest way is just to say for every section inside, which would be home, about, contact and portfolio, give it a height of 100, max width of 900, margin auto, flex direction, column, justify content center, width 100, padding 32, and 0. Bam. So we have lost Dwight's lovely picture, wherever that's gone. But that's fine for now, because we do need to target the avatar. Now you'll realize on here, like, it's always using like a H2 for these. So we can just target that as well. So let's go ahead and do main section H2. Color will be black. Font size of 48. Font weight of 900. Text transform uppercase. Margin bottom of 32. Again, it always goes into like divisible by 4. Then you can kind of keep some. Oh, I thought we finished then. You can kind of keep some control. One thing I actually do want to sort is these SVGs. I'm trying to think now, what should we sort next? Because these SVGs are getting quite annoying. So let's just fix the SVGs. But before we do that, this is kind of our global main. So everything that lives in the section gets all this stuff. But for specific targeting, so say for example, you want to do the home. Let's just say home. And then we'll say main section.home. Flex direction. We want to switch this one to a row. Boom, and there we go, Dwight's back. So now they're next to each other. Align the items, center. Boom, right in the middle. Winner. We'll do home, and then we're going to target the avatar, which is Dwight. So we'll say 100, and then margin right, again, divisible by 4, 64. And the home has content, which is this. So let's target that. We do content. I think there's too much we actually have to target in there, really. I'm trying to think if there's even that much we need to target. I mean, there's the unordered list, which is the SVG. So we want these SVGs to be positioned next to each other and to be a lot smaller. So let's just copy this because we're going to be reusing that. We'll say margin right for the SVG is 24. And you know what I like to do? I always like to turn off the last of type. So like in this case, we're going to be going 24, 24, 24, 0. So that's what we're going to be doing for that. And then for the SVG, we just say width of 17. I know. I've broken my 4 divisible by 4 rule, but it's only the SVG. Ease. What we've got here. So we've done the SVG. What happens when we hover over it? Well, let's get that transition to fill. And why am I not using like background color? Well, with an SVG, you have to use fill. That's simply the answer. Hopefully you can see that. Yay, they look pretty decent. So what's gone wrong in terms of why is it no longer in the middle, and where the hell is our content? Well, we need to obviously get the, well, we've done the SVGs, right? So let's go in here and target the content. And the content is a P tag. So let's say margin bottom. And I've done my best to always go from margin bottom and not do like margin top, margin bottom. I always try to do that. And I think the reason for that is, did I set a global? What did I set for the global here? Content, global section. So we need to go back up to the section here
where we were setting the globals, and what we want to do, we want to set like a certain color for the paragraph tags. So main section P, and you could set this in the body, but for some reason I decided to set it here. Again, it's just a choice, right? It depends where you want to do it. There we go, it shows. Now, when we start adding content to all of these, you're going to get in a predicament where they're all going to show. And we don't want them all to show, right? We just don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hide all of these on the first initial load. So to do that, you can use something called not. So we'll say the section is not home, and that's going to look at this and all these other sections and say, okay, well, this isn't home, this isn't home, this isn't home, that's home. So what am I going to do to that? I'm going to say display none. And there we go. We're in the middle again. So what we've got to do now is get this image to, you know, be fancy. So how do we do that? Well, this one's a bit tricky because it is a large image. What do I have on my notes for this image? Do we want to do this for the global maybe? I don't know. Yeah, let's just say for every image that's in a section, background repeat of no repeat. I want the position. And by the way, again, some of these like really nice transitions and stuff, as I see them, I think they're nice online. I save them and then use them. So like this stuff here, it takes a while to understand how to put together like this sort of animation. So don't worry if you don't fully understand all this. I mean, I understand the concepts and I can mess around with it, but I didn't put it together myself. Again, it was just a nice steal that I found online. Border radius 60%, 40%, 30%, 70%, 60, 30, 70, 40. Bam, there you go. Works, it just doesn't do the spinny stuff. Now to get the spinny stuff, there's a few things actually. We need an animation. So we'll take this and we'll say animations, and I always leave mine right at the bottom of the style sheet. And keyframes, if you ever use like or created Flash games when you were younger, I guess, or older, but when I was younger I created Flash games. So we use keyframes, and a keyframe is saying this border radius is going to be 60, 40. You know what? I cannot be bothered. Let me go ahead and grab this. That's the border radius. It's going to start out, and then when it gets to 50%, it's going to change, and the border radius is going to swing to this, and then at 100%, it's going to go ahead and do this. And now, where we use morph, if we go up, bam, animation is going to target the morph animation, 8 seconds, ease in, ease out, infinite, basically going forever. And bam, there you go, job's a good one. That's the homepage. Cool, all right, let's start looking at the about, which shouldn't be too tough either, to be honest. And God, I don't know what's going on in British summers, but it's red hot. I'm feeling it tonight. Even at like, what, nearly 1 AM, it's still warm, but yeah, we need these little transitions too. But yeah, it's looking all right. It's not looking bad. So let's continue on. Right, so I think we're going to have to tackle more than likely the hardest part, which is JavaScript. So how do we get this now to include our JavaScript? Well, you want to include the JavaScript at the bottom, especially for this one because it's not like an on-load event. So we don't care that we include some JavaScript because nothing's happening when it loads. So we don't want to be blocking the top part whilst this pulls in. So how do we, well, what we're trying to achieve here? Well, what we're trying to achieve is when you click these, it shows different ones. And that's going to be our main focus right now, because we could hide these via CSS if we wanted, but we may as well just tackle the JavaScript. So we're going to tackle it with an on-click handler, and this is pretty much all we're going to do. And if you're not used to functions in JavaScript, it's basically just like a block of code that's saying, go ahead and do this. But you can write this, but it's going to do nothing. So you have to like call it and say, hey, look, this is ready to go. It's kind of like having a car, this is the car, and then starting the car. And that's pretty much how it works. Now, we need to get those elements which live on the left side, so home, about, portfolio, contact. So I want to get each one. We'll say const link of document.querySelector all. So it's going to give us something called a node list. And we'll say nav li a. And then we're going to say for each link, go ahead and add an event listener. Now, what's it listening for? A click. And each function callback will give us an event. So I don't want to get too deep into the woodworks of JavaScript, but this will basically hide all your containers. So we'll say hide all the containers. So how do we do that? We'll say document.querySelector all, and there's probably a more efficient way to do this. You could probably store them in some sort of array, but it's just a nice simple portfolio. So let's go with this method. So say for each element, we want to select the query selector. And this is where it gets a bit tricky. So we want to put like a class here. So say a dot to target the class of the element, get the attribute of href, which is in here. Where we're looking? No, I don't want the flags. Here. So the attribute of href, which is this. So we can get home, about, portfolio. And then we want to use, I think we want to substring it actually. Yeah, let's substring. So why we're substringing? Well, it has the hashtag on and we don't want that for our targeting. So once we have that, let's bring this down here. Once we have it, we can do style.display equals none. Now I don't know if that's going to work. You can always check why it didn't work. Anything in the console? Style of undefined. So we've messed up. So query selector all, li for each query selector style. So this is more than likely wrong. Substring. So it's good that we ran into this. You may just want to console.log this out. So let me have a look what comes back in my console. Get attribute href substring. So how do we console.log this out? So let's do this. The target here, as opposed to doing the query selector, just do console.log clear home about. Okay, that's fine. So that does seem to work. So what we're doing wrong is we need to get it in this for each. We're outside the for each, which is bad. So bring that down. And I think that should just do it. I think that should just do it. Yay, it works. It hides everything, which is exactly what we wanted, right? There was nothing really. Well, that's pretty much it. To be honest with you, we do have to remove this like active class because you see it's got the active class on here. We want it to kind of move to the one you clicked on. So let's go ahead and do that. Remove active class. So say again, document.querySelector all. We'll go through them. for each again. For each element, element.classlist.remove.active. Simple. So if I click on about, there we go, it moves. So now I want to add it to this one. So get the link that was clicked and add the active class. So it's a document.query selector. Let's see here. We'll go to the event, which is the one on line 3. Current target dot get attribute href. Again, you want to substring it. Yeah, you want to substring this because it's going to have the what do you call it on the hashtag? The hashtag's going to be on there. So display equals flex. Get the link that was clicked. Okay, so yeah, we said flex because that now. Get the link that was clicked and show the section. Okay, so that's going to show the section. We could probably do that here. It makes more sense to do that there. And then once we remove the class, add the active class link to the element link, which is above dot class list dot add class list dot add active. And that is the JavaScript. Boom, 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 boom. And there it is. So the next one would be the about. So what have we got in about? Let's take a look. Another image. So we have an image and just some text. So it should be easy. So let's find about. We can just close that one down. Open this one up. And we can just do, what should we call it? This is going to be a large image. So we might want to do something with this. Image source, images, avatar 2. Div.content. I'm just going to paste in a bunch of content, which is lorem. Boom. And that's it. A H2 with some paragraph tags. That's all it is, my friends. That's all it is. Home, about, and there you are. Now we do need to do some styling. You can see it's like kind of touching there. So we need to do the large image as well. Grab this. I'm getting hungry as well. It's bad to be in at this time. Section.about large image. Margin bottom 64. The only annoyance is you've got to keep clicking on each tab and it doesn't take you back. I like the grenade on the desk here. What the hell? Is it? And it's not center. It's not in the center. So display flex, justify content center. H2. Let's make it a bit smaller actually. Yeah, it fits on one line now, which is good. I want to make this italic, and it's a span tag, which we've done here, so we can make that italic. Copy this. It's inside the H2, so let's go to the end. Font style italic, that's it. And I think we do have, you know what, I'm a bit OCD about the margins. Yeah, I want to take this margin off. So the last paragraph, main section dot about, last of type, margin bottom. Wait, do we need last of type there? Do we really need? Or maybe we do need that actually, because when it comes to be responsive, let's take a look. Uh-oh, we got to fix that. But for now, let me just bump that to, what's the margin here? This has a margin. Come on, it does. 64. All right, I'm just going to leave 32 on there for now and see if we do need that. I think we may. Do we need that? Oh no. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what's the point in even having that? For now, you can go to 0. Then the next thing we're going to be working on is the portfolio. So let's take a look at the portfolio, but let's just recap where we're up to. We've got the home, the about, we need to do the portfolio and contact, and then responsiveness. So you can see it's fairly easy to create a somewhat simple portfolio. Yeah, so let's crack on with the portfolio. It's going to look like this. So I think essentially all we're going to have to do is just render a few images. It's not going to be hard. And the reason for that is because we did pretty much a lot of nice globals within the section, which allows us just to like pretty much target, or at least have those nice images in a nice H2, and that's pretty much all we want. So let's just have a look at that. So we're coming to the portfolio section, and we'll just say H2 portfolio, very simple. Div class, photos, bam, images, portfolio 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how that looks. So we want it to look like this. Let's see how it actually looks. And do you like the nice on hover to changes? It's pretty good. Okay, so it's not bad. We can fix, like, there's not much really to fix. We just have to get them so they're not coming down vertically, and they go more across. Maybe we'll go for 2 columns. I think 2 might make sense here. Well, it does make sense because that's what I did. It's just, what time is it? Yeah, it's late. Justify content center, main section, portfolio, photos, and we'll use a grid. Check us out. We're so 2021. Grid template, columns. We'll say auto. Boom, gives us this nice like square look for each one. And that's because in grid template columns, you can target whatever you wish. So there you go. You can basically do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to do. There's 4 elements. You can target each one. So you could do like 25, 20. Come on. And put them all next to each other if you wanted to. It's actually 25. I am so bad. There you go. You could put them like that if you wish. That's how grid template columns works. But we're just going to go with 2. I think 2 is pretty decent, to be honest. And I want a nice gap in there because there's not really a gap between. You see the touching. They're like touching each other. And I know Dwight probably does like, but we're going to go ahead and... Can you not use column gap? I don't know why that was blurred out. Grid row gap. Sure, you can use that. Yeah, I mean, it works. Why is it telling me? Who knows? Also use this website, caniuse.com, and just paste in like whatever you want to see. It's not supported in IE 11. Who cares about IE? Not me. But there we go. We have home, about, portfolio. And the last one would be contact. So the contact one ain't going to be too bad, to be honest. It's going to be more styling, so we can take a look at that. Let's just create a new section in here where we just say, look, this is going to be the contact. And what we're just basically going to target is we're going to have like something very simple again. So it's going to have a H2, get in touch. I'm going to go on Google Maps. There's my face. I'm going to go on Google Maps and just grab a nice iframe, which will give us a map. Simple. You can get that off Google Maps. Then I'm going to paste in some lorem, which is just some dummy text. There you go. So I'm not adventurous enough to figure out what to write. So click contact. There you go. You get something fairly nice. We want some margin here, but we'll come to that in a second. And then what you want on the form, just create a basic form action method as post. You can hook this up, by the way, if you want to do eventually hook this up, or just have it like the action just opens up an email client with mail to. So check out mail to on Google if you want to do that. Placeholder, we just said name, something very simple. I'm not going to be using like labels or anything here, just a very basic form. Text area, placeholder, message. Then we just have a button that says send message. It's just like a very, very basic example of how a form can be put together. And there we go, we'll style this, make it look somewhat nice. We'll make it look like this. Yeah, so let's crack on with styling that now. Right, so firstly I just want to fix this map so there's some margin here. So we'll jump in and then let's target it. So say main, and the section in main will say contact map margin bottom 16 pixels. And once we have that, it should look alright now, I think. Boom, yeah, we've got some space, which is good. Right, let's target the form so it's not literally next to each other. Flex direction column. I feel like I'm typing that all the time. Let's have a look how that looks. Right, so now you see it's stacked, which is good. Let's do input. Width, make sure that's 100%. The border, 1 pixel should do us. Let's use something different here. We'll use RGBA instead, as opposed to hex value. And we'll say 0.2 on the alpha, which is at opacity, so remember that. Background color transparent, and font style, you know what, let's go with some metallic. We may have to separate this a bit too. I might separate that. You see how you still got the text area that didn't take effect, so we need to look at that as well. So let's grab this. First off, type margin bottom 32 pixels. Now let's target the input and the text area at the same time. So you can target them both like this. So you can just keep basically targeting whatever you want. So we'll say the color we want is the nice gray we was using. A width of 100, border of 1 pixel, solid. We use that again, that color. Okay, so background color transparent, which is pretty much what I've got up here. So I don't know if we need this. Do we need this? Let me just comment that out for a second. I think we will. Font style, italic. Padding 16 pixels, margin bottom 16 pixels. There we go, it looks nice, but you see the fonts aren't the one that we're expecting from the Poppins. So let's grab the Poppins. Where are you, Poppins? Come on. Here we go. So we'll come back down here and we'll just put the font in there, and the font should have changed. There we are, it looks nice. Now, with a text area, you can always like resize it, and I don't like that. I just think it's nasty. So I don't know why they decided, or at least browsers decided, to make that like a default, because everyone pretty much just turns it off. Now the button, we want it to be somewhat of a nice, there you go, look, it's gone, you can't resize it anymore. So the button, let's go ahead and target the button. So we want it to have a height of 64 pixels, width of 100, background color of that nice yellow that we have, that we're using across the site. I'm pretty sure the button didn't take that text. What? Let's have a look at the button. Does it have the text now? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll just leave it on there. Whatever. Font size 16. 16 is like the browser default, so I always go with 16. Font weight is 900. Text transform uppercase. Cursor, we need to set it so it's a pointer. The border is 4 pixels solid. Let's do something like off color to that yellow, which I think that should be one. And then I'm just going to add a nice transition. So again, I'm stealing a nice transition, one I found online. You can use this. And how do transitions take effect? Well, when you do the hover. So let's say on hover, background color, FF, CA3A. And I think that's it. And there we go, nice form. Pretty good, right? You hover, you get a nice effect. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's Portfolio About Home. If you're not interested in the responsive part, feel free to click off the video. But that's it. Please do remember to like, subscribe. We're going to look at the responsive part now. The responsive part ain't too bad, honestly. Like, it's not that bad. It's probably like another 5 minutes. And we can see how bad it is, like, responsively. It don't work that well on iPhone X. But we can fix that. I'll show you how to fix it. So yeah, let's actually take a look at that. So we pull this across. Also, do remember, if you are interested in that Keychron keyboard and you have signed up to hostinger.com/Carl to send me a tweet or an email, and you will be in a chance to win the Keychron keyboard that you saw at the start of this video. So how do I normally do the responsiveness? Well, what I actually do is, I just like to say, look, this is going to be where all the responsive stuff lives. And basically, when you're doing responsiveness, you can just target like a value. And what you can see here, right? So you can kind of control this. Where does this kind of like start looking crap? Well, let's take a look. Blah, blah, blah. Kind of at that point, it starts getting to a situation where stuff's starting to get tight. You can see it's starting to get tight. That, especially on the portfolio, it's starting to get tight in the container. So let's just say like, okay, a media with a max width of 1400 pixels. I want the wrapper to become a flex direction column. This specifically targets per pixel now, so we're targeting at a pixel value. So nothing's happening here, but when you get to 1400, you see it kicks in. So how do we know it kicks in? Well, look on wrapper, right? It's saying from 0 to 1400, apply some styles. After 1400, don't do anything. That's how it works. Max width is saying 0, 1400. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to go with the nav now and say max width. We'll give it none because we want it to go fully across at the top. So height auto, padding 32. To be honest, that should look all right. Bring it down. There we go. It's at the top. Like, that's pretty much it for how you work with responsive CSS. Let's change that margin bottom to 16 on the H1. So it gets, there we go. It's nice, bit better. The nav UL, we'll put that as display flex, margin bottom 0. Margin right, let's put these elements next to each other so it don't take up too much room in the header. So you see now it's taking up a bit of room. We refresh, boom, looks a lot better. A lot better. Again, you know what I'm like with the last of types. Last of type. Margin right, 0. Let's have a look. Good. Last of type, yeah, it's gone. So we've got the margin there. You see, that little orange bit. And then here, there's nothing. Right. So say nav, where we have the P and we have the first element. By the way, that like greater than sign is saying, give me just the first element of, well, not the first element, but it's like the first child that gets hit for the href, and display none. So I get rid of them. Perfect. And how did I target that nav? So if we look at the nav, you'll see like, if I just did like this in my CSS, nav A, display none, it would get these two, and I don't want to hide them. I just want to hide this one. So that if you do that, it says, oh yeah, there's one there, but it doesn't go inside this. So the main section, let's bring the padding down just a bit too. There we go, perfect. And then for the home, I know this is going to kind of mess up a bit. Flex direction column. So it looks all right now, but I think it looks much better if we have like a flex direction there where we're specifically making the image bigger and it's better for mobile and tablets. So that's what I did. I just stacked it on top. So for the avatar, I don't need the margin right anymore. You do find when you're doing CSS that you set all these styles that you kind of need to reset when you're doing the responsiveness. Margin bottom 32, display flex, justify content center. There we go. So now that's in the center. What I actually want to do is I'm starting to think that image could do with, I mean, let's have a look. What did we add on there? Oh, did I add it to the margin? What? I reset the margin. Oh, I don't have a dot there. There we are. That looks better, doesn't it? That looks much better. And now we have these SVGs. Let's put them in the center. Does it? Yeah, let's put them in the center. Content UL. Justify content center. There we go. Now it does look good up to here. You bring it down even further, don't look bad. But if we check, yeah, that looks decent. Portfolio, I think at this point, when we go from like down to there, we get all this white space and I'm not too fond of that. So I'm thinking when we get that low, like down to around 700, we probably should make it so we get two images, not two, one. Let's go with one. So main.section portfolio.photos. We'll say display inline grid this time. Grid template columns. Auto. Justify items. Now, when I'm writing this, I'm kind of thinking to myself, could we not just use grid template columns auto? So there we are. It looks good. That's pretty much the responsiveness done. And that's tiny. That's like 315. If you check it on like an iPhone 5, it still works, which is really good because not many people have iPhone 5s now. iPhone X is probably one of the most used, if not iPhone 10, 11, something like that. But I'm just thinking here, what happens if I just get rid of this? Would that still work? Yeah, but it's not in the center, is it? Okay, that's fine. But yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. I mean, there's not that much more in terms of responsiveness. I'm trying to think if there's anything we've missed. I'll put a nice shameless comment up here so people can see this when they actually do use this. I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. I'm just trying to think if there's anything we've missed. Let me check my notes here. So firstly, what did we do? Well, we imported the fonts. We did the reset, so all the browsers, are the same. For the styles that we apply, that is. We did the wrapper. We came onto the nav, the H1. We did the nice hover. Started looking at the author. The list for the nav was done. Before was nice. Main, yep. Section P. Home. Image. Hover. Contacts. SVGs were done. We did the hover on the SVGs. Remember to use fill. Italics. We did that, which was okay. Photos was fine. I think it's this what we just don't need, to be honest. I don't think we need that. So the form shouldn't need that, I don't think, because it's kind of similar to what we had. Like we had a font style, the width. So I'll remove that from the Git repo because you won't need that. Remember, the Git repo is in the description. So if you do want to just take this, feel free. I don't mind. Animations, responsiveness. I think that's pretty much it. We did the nav, the H1, the UL, the last type, section, home, avatar, content. I think that's pretty much it. So let's just review. Responsively, works great. Even the form. The about, the portfolio, the home. Let's get rid of that. Now I know it might look large on my screen, but it does look normal. I just prefer not to zoom in. But you see, yeah, all the pages are good. You got these nice transitions too. And we even did we did some JavaScript. I don't know, I think it looks decent. Like I'm pleased with this. Nice and simple portfolio. Just like nice touches. And if you switch this out, you can even change like the background color here if you wish. Even hovering over the H1 there's nice. Like some good attention to detail that we've done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap up. The GitHub is in the description. Remember to go on hostinger.com. Carl, if you want to sign up, you do get the 91% off. Again, amazing uptime, great support, multilingual, location of servers all around the world. There's a ton of stuff. Again, you get a free domain if you get the 12-month plan. The 12-month plan kind of works out the cheapest, to be honest, the premium one. And there's a difference like one website or 100. To be honest, for the sake of £1, grab the 100 websites. You can use it for even client work, because clients don't get too many visits. And once you get them a website up, there's not much to do. The free SSL, so the HTTPS is good. The email account, that's great because Google Workspaces charges you a bloody fortune. The AdWords credit, if you do maybe you're creating an affiliate website, you can bang it on here, get the AdWords credit, and it pays for itself. Unlimited databases, Git access, SSH, there's tons and tons of stuff. 99% uptime, subfolders, FTP, cron jobs, boom, it's all there. Remember to use the coupon code Carl. Tweet me with a screenshot if you've used that. Or email me, and I'm going to put it into a raffle, so maybe like 2 weeks from now I'll release this. I don't know, maybe let a few people watch and let the video go. I won't wait longer than 4 weeks to announce the winner of the Keychron. And yes, I'll post it anywhere in the world. I don't really mind. I don't know, even if it costs $50 or $100, I'll still post it to the winner. So don't worry about where you're located for the Keychron. As long as you sign up here, you use the coupon code Carl. Jobs are good one. I think that's it. 91% off using my coupon code. Yeah. It's nearly 2 a.m, so I probably better go. I've got to be up in the morning. Yeah. Enjoy Bill Buttlicker's portfolio. If you want to view this, it'll be on billbuttlicker.com. I think it should be. If not, you'd have found out in the start of the video when we did the sign up. But yeah, there's Bill with Michael Scott, Dwight Schrute. I'm going to sign off. I'm just talking rubbish. Follow me on Twitter. Please like the video. Subscribe. I want to try to get some more followers. Subscribers even. Follow me on Twitter for the best sort of memes. Football Queen, Steve Ballmer jumping in, Elon Musk as Miley Cyrus, and sometimes a bit of whinging about tech. And you'll find out who the winner is too for the Keychron, because I'll post it on Twitter as well. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and good night. Bye bye.
Right, so let's go ahead and get our hosting. So if you haven't done this before, essentially what we're going to be doing is just getting a hosting package, and you can choose either one of these really. I would recommend this one because it gives you the opportunity to have just more than one website, and you can play around and you get like free SSL, even though you do with this one, but you get a nice free domain. And that's also like £7 in value, or around $10. So if you go ahead and click add to cart, and make sure if you didn't visit hostinger.com/Carl, make sure that when you're going through this process, like on the 12 months here, let's have a look, coupon code, enter Carl in here. And there you go, you should get a good amount off. So you see it's £185 and then it'll drop to £65. Right, so once you've done that, which I've just done, so I'm gonna head over to here, and it says claim your free domain. So I'm going to put in Bill, and we can just be sure, BillButtlicker.com, that's what we're going to go with. Bill Buttlicker. Then click claim domain. Oh God. So it looks like someone has stolen our domain. Someone must have seen me put this on GitHub and they've gone ahead and stolen it. So let's try with a hyphen. I just had a look and you can see here, someone registered this just a few days ago, which is annoying. So if you do own that domain, can I have it? If not, we'll just go with, like, I was checking on Namecheap as well just to see if I could see when it was registered. But yeah, it looks like someone's taken it. So let's go with bill-buttlicker.com. There we go. Awesome. We've added bill-buttlicker.com to our account. But yeah, if you've, I don't know, seen on GitHub that I was working on this and pushing, I'll most likely have to do this privately now. But yeah, congrats on stealing the domain. But yeah, can I have it, please? It would be nice. Start registration. So I do this. Scroll down. I'll choose the UK. For this bit, I'll just pause the video just because, for obvious reasons, I can't show my address. But I'll be back in a second. Okay, so it looks like the contact information is under review. If that happens, it's fine. So you come into here, you've got your domain. It will pen verification. So I should be able to do that now. And then, let's see, is there any more information on here? We can go back whilst I'll verify this. Let me see if I can verify this quickly. Shouldn't take too long. Just go to your email address and it should be in there. I can't believe someone stole that domain. Like, it's quite annoying. But anyways, yeah, good catch spotting me on GitHub building this. Let me refresh this. It might be verified. Oh, okay, give it a minute to verify. But yeah, why did someone steal that? That's so annoying. I really wanted that. Lena, will you chill out messaging me? Come on. How do we, okay, so that's done. All right, so who is, by the way, who is privacy is pretty much, so if you go to who is, like you can see, BillButtlicker.com, you can see the guy or girl is hidden, their details. So that's what who is protection basically is. I'm going to turn it on so you can't see my address. It's $6. Okay, I'll do that soon. I'll do that in a minute. Build connections to your domain, blah, 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 blah. Let's see if this is refreshed yet. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Let's set up the hosting. But yeah, I can't believe somebody stole this. Like, it was literally just a week ago when I started working on this. Ugh. Let's have a look. GitHub.com/ I don't know what it's called. Is it portfolio? Let's see. Yeah, when did I do this? 27th. No, actually, I started working right before that. Maybe the 19th. Yeah, Bill Buttlicker portfolio. Someone started. Who's done this? Might have been one of these two people. Yes, I'll have to, as opposed to having these public whilst building them. And you can visit the portfolio here if you want and just steal the code. But yeah, whilst building these, I'll have to put them public so no one can snipe me like that just happened. Right, so next let's go home. We've got a domain. Let's go ahead and set up the hosting. Start now. I'll do this for myself. It will be a portfolio. I build websites professionally. I don't know about that. I'm a beginner, but I built a few websites. No, something went wrong, that's fine. Choose other options. No. Skip. I will start from scratch. Domain. This is the most important part right here. Select your domain. You can choose the location here. I'm going to go with the UK. Then click Finish Setup. And there we are. So basically what this is doing, it's going to give you like a directory where we can just put the files in. And once the domain goes live, generally it takes about 24 hours. We can just go ahead and basically drop our files in, and then the domain should be pointing to those files. And since ours is just a simple HTML website, with our structure having index.html, it should just pick that up automatically. So your website's ready, click Manage Site. Can't believe how to use the hyphen. Set main domain, that should be set. Yeah, there we are, billbuttlicker.com. Look how nice it is on here too. It's so nice compared to some of the hosting platforms I've used. We can import the website. That might be quite useful to do. Or you could potentially SFTP in here if you want. It's fairly simple. So we can set up an FTP account, which is basically allows you to connect to the server. Or we can just import the website. So provide a zip of all your website files and it'll be extracted directly into the public HTML folder in one click, which is pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do now, I'll have to get rid of that and get rid of that. Portfolio. This one was last edited at 1:45. So let me just check there's anything in here. That looks good. Choose file. Go to where you store your code. Mine's right here at the bottom, portfolio. 6.4 megabytes. Click open. There we are. And then click import. Bloody hell, it's hot at the minute in the UK. But yeah, here we are. So now it's importing, which shouldn't take too long. There we go. Go to website. It's HTTP at the minute because we haven't enabled HTTPS, which we'll do in a second. Bill Buttlicker, happy to see your domain with hosting go. What's next? Buy hosting, blah, blah, blah. This should change over soon. We don't want the website builder. This is pending setup. So let's set this up now actually, because it looks like the domain may, still pending verification. I'm pretty sure we verified, but that was a while back. The DNS name servers should be fine to point to, well, stay as they are because it's pointing to the domain that's internal on Hostinger. So let's set up the SSL. One click SSL, hopefully. Boom, there we go, installing. So that means you'll get that nice lock up here. And we can force HTTPS, which I plan on doing once this has finished the installation. Click back to home. See what's going on. So we've got the SSL, we've got the hosting, and you can even do email if you wish. So let's see.
Right, so I was just looking into this actually, and we use the uploader. And I thought I'd just check to see if the files were there. So if you go into File Manager, you should get presented with something like this. It says billbuttlicker.com or whatever domain you're using. If you click into that, public_HTML is your primary directory. Now it has default.php, and can you edit this? Yeah. I imagine this just says it's parked. Account has been created. It does. So we'll delete that because we don't need it. Go into portfolio, which is pretty much what we want. We don't need the .git, nor the DS store, nor git ignore. Select all these. Actually, we don't even need the readme or the preview. So we should have something like this. Now, can we move these? Yes. Destination change. We want it to go into public.html. Select that. So this is what it should look like. Let me zoom in for you. You want it to go into here. Then click move. Go into public HTML and you should have this sort of stuff. Now, once you refresh, I'd imagine that should change it. Let's take a look. Public HTML. What's this Mac OS file? Strange. I don't think we need that. I'll keep it just in case. Actually, no, let me delete it. So I'll zoom out. Let's see. So it hasn't changed. The SSL is not verified yet. Right, so I was actually being a bit stupid. If you visit billbuttlicker.com, you can see it's still parked, but in reality, it was just the cache. And there we go, we have SSL and we have a portfolio. Does it work? It works perfectly, and it's live. Amazing. Right, so this was the solution that I used, pretty much. Just put in public HTML. I thought it would have done that, but it seems not. This should be fine. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hosting, domain, SSL. And it's live there, so remember to use the coupon code Carl, and it was pretty easy to set up. It's definitely the cheapest place for hosting, so give it a shot. It's like even less than a coffee. But yeah, check out the portfolio if you want to just have a look. And whoever stole the Bill Buttlicker domain, I'm coming for you. I want that back. Anyhow, yeah, that's it. And also, please remember to subscribe, because you can see, like, when I'm looking in here, not subscribed is 73%. So yeah, if you are watching, please remember to subscribe. And again, send me your portfolio on Twitter @CarlHadwin, and then I will choose a winner for the Keychron K3 keyboard. And I'm done. Follow me on Twitter @CarlHadwin. Should be in the description. Hostinger will be in the description. What else should I promote? Subscribe. That's it. Have a nice day, evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.